Yeah, the reason I ask that is because I'm so curious about how people transform their life, how they move from one state to another. And so that's what made me interested in homeopathy, because I wonder if it could be the catalyst, like once you take a correct remedy, whether like the layers of the onion start to unfold.
Absolutely. I can't scientifically, this is nothing I can scientifically prove, but obviously in my experience, that's what I've seen with people. Is every person's experience the same? No, absolutely not. Not in homeopathy. Again, it depends what that person's meant to happen. But given a correct remedy, have I seen some huge transformations? Absolutely, absolutely. Even I remember treating a man, and his wife had reported that they were having spiritual conversations, after, and he was coming because of he couldn't sleep well. I think it was more of insomnia, back problems, shoulder problems, and all this stuff. Given the correct remedy, here this man is, after a few months, having spiritual conversations with his wife, who thought it was absolutely amazing. It was great. So, yes. I mean, it's wonderful helping people on a level with such deep meaning, and it's just, I guess, getting homeopathy out there so people aren't afraid of it. People know what it is. It's educating the public, knowing that it exists, that it was, around 200 years ago, basically the man who created it, who was a physician, and I mean, again, ridiculed, for coming to a point in his practice where, when they were using leeches to bloodlet, when they were using arsenic, right, as a form of treatment back then, and getting to the point of saying, what, enough is enough. I'm tired of making people more sick. I want to help people. I want to heal people. So what can I do? And here homeopathy is, and so many years later. So it's amazing. In homeopathy, they basically proved the remedies. So basically it's like cures like. So you're getting a remedy that meets your specific picture. Okay, so I mean, again, you can't just turn around and say, well, I need this or you need that. You have to sit down and you have to listen to that person, and you basically have to repertorize it, and you have to know what you're doing to basically say, well, this is more the way I want to go. This is the remedy. Because again, given that right remedy, you can see great shifting and great transformation, right? But you have to be in the ballpark. If you hit a close remedy, you're still going to provide a positive shift for that person, but perhaps the symptoms come back, and that's when you get into, you got to hit that bullseye.
Hard work. And do you have any stories, like without using names, but any stories that you could share with the audience of some of your patients, or something that you've read about or heard about using homeopathy or Bach flowers that really just blew you away?
Well, the biggest thing I've seen, I guess I tend to help a lot of people with panic attacks and anxiety. And it's just nice, again, helping people on such a level where somebody's taking a medication for something, and they want to come off of it, whether they don't enjoy the side effects anymore. And obviously that's their choice. They have to, talk that over with their doctor. But being able to stop something that is huge, and again, seeing the transformation, seeing people get that aha moment of, wow, I did this, something cycles around again. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. Or when you start asking somebody a question, I love the response of, you ask them when they got sick, and then, what was going on in that point of your life? What was happening? It's like, oh, well, nothing. Or then they'll remember, oh, well, I had a severe fright. I, nearly died, or I, had an accident, or something severe happened. They got severely sick or something. And it's like oh, do you think that that's connected? It's like, I don't know. But it's quite amazing, how that kind of thing, brings somebody to such a profound, I guess, if you want to say, transformation.
And you were speaking earlier off camera about children not being taught about emotions with the school system. Do you want to just go in, because that was really fascinating. Do you have a right to talk about that? Or?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Well, I mean, basically, children obviously are great candidates for homeopathy as well, starting like even in the womb with pregnancy. Because in all honesty, if you have a mother in her first trimester too that is severely sick, you know, not that it's a fear again, but hopefully she would get homeopathic treatment, because if she doesn't, then even though that sickness goes away, that possibly could prove to be problems for that child later on. Now, the children themselves, yes, I mean, depending on what kind of parents, their upbringing, their beliefs, their religions, I mean, you can get in a whole vast things, okay? But we're a society that tends to suppress things. Right? We tend to, oh, you know, don't make a big deal out of that, Timmy. You know, like stop crying. You know, so what you have is you're teaching, you know, a child to suppress what is natural. Okay, emotions are natural, but you're teaching that child to hold that in. So that could be detrimental for that child. You know, and you would see a remedy picture evolve, obviously, especially depending again on that uniqueness of the child, whether it's a break in the vital force, something would come to the surface. But yeah, we definitely are more left brain thinking, which is that logical, reasoning mind, that analytical. The educational system teaches us basically how to do that. They make us very book smart, if you want to say, but when it comes to our emotions, nobody teaches us anything like that. And then now you've got that shift into the right brain, that whole intuitive, the creative side. And yes, there are absolutely people out there that are in tune with that, and there's people that are totally, they're more on the other side. Does it make them bad people? No. It just means it would be nice if we could find some kind of balance with that as well.
In the education system especially, because the right brain children, you know, I think then they probably have the feeling like they're not good enough as well.
Absolutely, but that's where you get that whole, what's the word I'm looking for? Misunderstood.
Yeah.
Probably would be a correct term for that. They feel very misunderstood, which is kind of how I felt, because I tend to be more very right brain myself. So I tend to get more of that, and I felt like that all through school.
Yeah.